spoke to them, didn't call me or anything, just did one of the things I needed to have done. Because I'm trying to get 9B classified as an emerging SIS.
Right,
in
right,
the whole system.
right.
Now, you do know that less than 4% of the roads in Florida are SIS roads.
Aren't you going to get some help from the Port Authority if you get that as an SIS?
Very good question. So
Okay.
King's helping with that. That's moving along very nicely.
Right.
75% of the dollars goes to SIS roads. Of the $8 billion DOT financing, 75% goes to SIS roads.
Is it a statutory process to designate SIS roads?
It's a statutory process, and at least 50% of the transportation dollars has to be spent on SIS roads. The policy has been for 75%. So I'm trying to get that moved. We have 2 SIS roads in St. Johns County, our 2 most valuable roads, I-95, which we have absolutely no luck in doing anything on, and 207, the other major road for us. Did I say more? So I'm pushing really hard. I got 150 in the 5-year program now.
Right.
And I'm trying to get more. And when Daniel and I are...
150 million?
Yeah.
Okay.
Daniel and I are working on that connector piece. And then I think I'm almost close to being done. Because then my CDD plan, people who have CDDs, who have transportation obligations, but who do not wish to spend cash. Do you know any of these people? So it's called credit enhancement. It's a very nice concept.
Okay.
You issue your CDD, and you promise to pay me X millions of dollars in 2014, and Y millions of dollars in 2018, and Z millions of dollars in 2022, and ZZ in 2026, ZZZ in 2030. I don't care when you pay me.
What do you do with the B-bond obligation?
What do I do with that? Who do I give it to? Who's been the number one linchpin from day one? JTA.
Right.
JTA can issue bonds and build roads. All they need is an identified source of repayment.
What do you do about the fact that the CDDs have a finite borrowing ability?
Well, they have
ability, and they have their own obligations that they have to fund with revenue.
And they're going to have to. Yeah, they're going to have to figure out. They're committed to X dollars on roads. Whatever that X dollars is, that's what I expect.
Well, I was going to say, because if you've got a CDD in Silverlake that's planning on building 2209, and you say, no, I want your money,
and we'll build it, and we'll build it.
You'll put it in the you'll put it in the JTA package, and then
they build it.
Then they build it. So then that would be no different than
zero. Here's the difference to you, Coach. You don't spend any cash. The borrowing rate goes from 6 to 3. We arbitrage the interest, and I get half of your savings. That's the bottom line.
How do I assure if I give the funds to you?
You don't give them to me.
If I pledge, ultimately I'm going to pay.
You're going to get the JTA, yes.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately...
On X day, you're going to pay this much money.
Right. So if at that point we are committed to do it, we issue bonds, begin collecting revenue, whatever the hell it is we do, how is D.W. Hudson or Art Calhoun or whatever assured that the improvement that they need to serve their project is timely completed?
Put it in the agreement. Same thing that we have in your agreement. Otherwise, so that you're going to be timely completed.
So,
make a fucking difference.
So the entity, whether it be JTA or pick a TA,
right.
They are the actual contracting entity, so you treat them as a contractor.
Right.
They put up the performance bond?
No, you put up a performance bond. If they want to, if your credit requires some kind of
JTA is not required to bond their improvements.
Yeah. Right, they're not required.
Public entity, they're not required to post a bond.
Right, but as we go forward to ensuring a timely development within the community.
That's a contractual issue.
But when we get over a certain amount, the underlying
the road's going to get built immediately.
Think with me. Help me through this, though. When, not in our case, we don't have a lender.
Right.
But on properties that do have a lender, pick one. Multitudes. How do we get that underlying lender over the fact that the CDD is going to be hypothecated, is that the right word, out to a JTA entity without a guaranteed performance bond to build what that CDD is supposed to serve? Help me figure that out.
That's what you have lawyers for. I don't know the exact statutory language of the authority.
Right.
And it may be a sovereign guarantee for all I know. I don't know what it says. All I know is that They're one of my 3 key linchpins, and I got them where I was. So let me give you a quick nickel.
So, but we've got to address this lender thing, Tom. If we don't, we're going to run into a brick wall with so many developers.
Well, here's what's going to happen to you. If the bank has a lien on the property, the bank's going to do one of 2 things. They're going to say, we want to keep our lien, and you say, fine. Or they'll say, we'll subordinate our lien to JTA for the road work only, because it enhances the value of their property. They'll either say yes or no. Or you're going to go to a third party and get a performance bond. JTA is worried about your performance. They're not worried about their performance. They've got a funding stream from the government.
But they are the responsible entity to build that road.
They will.
So if they're the responsible entity, how do we ensure their timely delivery of that asphalt? It's as simple. It's going to come down to that simple fact. How do we ensure the delivery of the asphalt?
I don't know what the law says, what the enabling authority language is. It may address that, because this cannot be the first time this question has been asked. That I am sure of. Or number 2, they just issue a bond back. But their credit is better than your credit, and they're going to get a lower rate than you're going to get.
Heads up.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Trying to save them money and give me a hard time. Huh?
Help me think through this. Here's a mini crisis it's going to be facing, and is facing a lot of developers throughout the state. Their meter has been running on the A bonds and B bonds.
Yeah, the question is, I got 3 lenders, 3 guys I worry about. The rest I don't worry about. So if this is germane to you, I'll worry about it. If it's germane to somebody else, I don't give a shit.
It's germane.
You're worried about Hudson, Peyton, and Falcon, right?
It's germane to what, I don't know if Hudson has his CDD started yet.
Neither do I. By the time I'm doing the PD&E and doing all that, we can get CDD started.
Here's my point.
I don't care about Hudson. He has his CD, his CDD started. Here's
my point. On CDDs, that the meter on the B bond has been started.
Right.
That meter's running. And the bond issue is coming due.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of components.
Can I go back a piece? I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. His part from 210 north is done. That's all I care about right now. 210 is important.
But how do we help these developers keep their bonds from expiring, and the bond holder, thank you, ma'am.
Right.
The bond holder exercising their right to foreclose.
Whatever. We'll do that when we get there. I'm a sovereign government.
I'm saying that for some developers who have their CDD B-bond issue started right now, they're starting to face that.
Yeah, it actually isn't even foreclosure. What they do is they start the process of, as we saw in that stuff the other day, that they'll, like you guys do, issue tax certificates, sell it that way. Ask me to get it to me.
You are very needy this morning.
I am. I'm so sorry.
You are very needy.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, the reality is, the only person in St. Johns County this applies to is her Peyton. I'm not worried about it.
On your roadway, yes.
Yes. And that's all I care about. I don't care about anybody's roadway. I don't give a rat's ass. I don't care.
I'm just telling you, from a county's perspective, you have a mini CDD crisis coming, and what you're telling me is we'll cross that bridge when it starts to emerge.
Public good is a very powerful word, you know.
What is?
How do I water, please? Public good, in the public interest.
Mm-hmm.
It is in the public interest.
So
I'm sure that gives me lots of rights. If these guys called the default tomorrow, it might be 10 years before they were successful.
Is the Barton Park connection
before it runs through the system?
Okay. Sir?
Barton Park open now? The road?
Yes.
How does that change the pattern, if any?
I don't know yet. We're doing studies.
The times I've been out there, it hasn't been well traveled, but it's a great connector.
You'll have to find it.
I don't think it's well known yet.
Right. Yeah.
It's a very good connector.
Well, what's going to be fun is, the path of least resistance.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to be fun is when it blows out the old St. Augustine 95 interchange, and Duval County begins to get more concerned about.
I'm sorry, I'm going to cause you an extra trip. Can I have another orange juice? Thanks.
Okay, quick.
Hey,
What you got?
PowerPoint.
I went to Tallahassee. I brought with me. I met with Speaker-elect Sanson, Speaker-elect Cannon. I brought with me.
Did Rubio get in?
Did I meet with Rubio?
Yes.
Okay. Half hour. Rubio's on my speed dial.
Good.
As is Rivera, as is Bogo. As my marriage with the Latino community is going very well, thank you.
Good.
The plan is to merge with Miami, with Northeast Florida, and squeeze the motherfuckers in the middle. That is the plan.
Oh, Raul asked me about you. Wanted to know how you were doing.
Yeah.
I told him you were fine.
Yep. And my other key horse is Ricardo Morales. You know.
Yeah.
He's my key horse.
Yeah.
He likes me now. All right. We went to Jackson. We went to Tallahassee with this regional group comprised of myself, Daniel Davis, Jack Webb, former Speaker Thrasher,
Jack Webb. Yes.
It's in his backyard. Michael Blaylock from
Thank you. JTA.
JTA. Baker, the number 2 guy from the Fort. Haley, number 2 guy from the Chamber.
Who is? I don't know anybody at the board. Baker. Who is he?
Number 2 guy. He's the finance guy, operational guy. Farron is the head. Baker, the XO.
The chairman, vice chairman. What do they do up there?
He's the XO, executive vice president.
Okay.
The 2 guys who run the place. Farron and him is the board, and Morales is the chair of the board.
Who's underneath Morales on the board?
Farron.
Okay.
Okay. And then who else did we have? Oh, I had Roger Osteen from the private sector. So I ended up with a really nice group. And the Speaker-elect said to me, I got to tell you, this is the first time I've ever had, as long as I've been in the House, which is now, he's finishing his fifth year, it's the first time I ever had a regional presentation. So I think we're going to hold all our D2 Monday.
It's the first time he's had a what presentation?
Regional presentation. And we had the FDOT with us.
Was he serious or was he just blowing smoke?
No, he's serious.
Right.
First time he's seen so many jurisdictions come together, both elected and the authorities, asking for a common goal. Have you been reading the Times? They write nice editorials about it. God, you killed me, Bruce. Canal Road, maximize the economic development opportunities. The Jacksonville Port Authority is the key. It is the long-term economic driver of Northeast Florida. It will be the number 1 or 2 port on the East Coast once the canal is widened. And it will also become a major driver to Florida. 11 to 15% of the cargo is expected to stay within the state.
Excuse me. Darn it.
That port is the gateway to the world. Port requires multimodal transportation in the activity northwest and south. 9B provides southern connectivity to serve the entire state of Florida. I bring a map.
I'm sorry, yes.
If you look at the map, the port's here, and it's almost a straight south line without a stoplight. And Peyton is my first landing point. 9B provides the Jacksport connectivity to the southern portion of the state, provides access to Florida's distribution centers, improves public safety. The 295 IC. This is all just repeats here.
And this is what you gave at state.
Tallahassee. When you're with a lawmaker, you're in and out in 12 seconds. I never overstay my welcome.
Short window.
In, out. Thanks very much. Good to see you. So that's all working incredibly well. 9B is now a regional road. We're doing a fundraiser for Rivera, who's the rules chair. I'm in Hightower's house. All the state guys, fed guys, only elected officials at the county level. That includes Duval County. Is me. Rivera starts talking about 9B. I start clapping in the back of the room. Pretty soon the whole room's clapping and looking at me.
Have you reached out to Marty Fiorentino yet?
Yeah, fuck him, I need him. I got threats. and I got Cuban connections. Moving Florida Forward has been formed. I will email you the purpose, the funding levels.
What is that?
Moving Florida Forward is my Committee of Continuing Existence.
Is the what?
CCE under statute. With a super 527.
As in a notch above 527c3?
Like it's a 527 on steroids.
What does that get you, though?
Everything I want. For you, I want 10 grand. That's fine.
You want, wait a minute. You want 10 grand from me?
Yep.
And it goes to the
CCE.
to the super fund. Call it super fund.
Right.
Okay. What does it do?
Primary purpose, economic development, transportation. Support candidates who have my like feelings. I'll send you the whole purpose list. Filed in Tallahassee. Operating right now, as we speak, there are my minions in Tallahassee doing my minion duties.
Okay, so let me get this straight. The
Did I
10.
hit you up for any money? Who did I hit up for the money on? Did you give me money for Rubio? No, you didn't.
No, I haven't seen you.
Yeah, I didn't get you for shit yet.
No,
Your turn.
my turn.
10% of the money that Rubio has in his 501c3 I raised.
So
My buddy.
help me understand. We got the super fund.
Right.
The super fund purpose is to gather people of like mind.
It's for regionalization. On the Superfund political board, myself, Daniel Davis, Barry Holloway from Nassau, Doug Conkey from Clay, and Mike Weinstein.
Mike, I know. The other guys, I don't.
Not important, but you know, they're my guys in each county.
Okay.
Because we're getting ready to launch phase 2.
Which is?
The grand plan.
It is La Plan Grande.
I feel like Tom should have a hand in his shirt,
Right.
and in a little, what do you call those hats?
Hey, I'm on a roll right. And you gotta go when you're hot. You know that.
Okay. Help me trail the money. We get you 10 grand or 20 grand or whatever grand. It goes from me over to the committee,
Right.
and it's dispersed. And they use it for
Tolling. How do people feel about tax tolling? How do people feel about this? Message management, supporting candidates who I like.
right.
Help me build my marriage. I mean, I raised money for Steve Bobo, the mayor of Hialeah. I'm going down there. I made money for Adam Hasner, and I mean, I'm
Hasner's familiar to me.
your guy, West Palm Beach.
Yeah.
I just skipped the middle, went to the front of the line. That's it.
So bring bottom and bring top together. Okay, so we got these guys working. How can they help us at the Port Authority level?
Of course it can.
Because I'll tell you, the port concerns me, Tom, in that they're such an autonomous group, and they function, at least to date, they functioned autonomously, but they're having such a regional impact right now. I'm concerned that there's nobody that can control them.
We can go through the structure, but I just asked Kareem Brown and John Micah for $1 billion
Right?
for the port.
Did Micah get up off the floor?
Yeah, right over there. I mean, Micah's scared shitless. He's all over the cap.
He thinks you're running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? Shadow knows for sure. Yeah, it's just a game.
Okay.
So
I got your 10 grand. What else am I on the hook for here? This is going to be an expensive breakfast.
I mean, did you ever give Kathy Brown some money? She's in a hard budget. Did you ever give the COA money?
COA, Council of Aging, no.
Yeah, give her some.
Well, we talked about that before, and
It's a tough year. Tommy asked me to help you out here.
you'd wanted.
$5 grand, well, nothing big
Well,
right now.
well, you're coming down. You wanted 100 before.
Let's just do some good face shit right now. Same thing with Phil McDaniel, local arts agency. I want to get that moving more.
Let's do this because we've got.
Tell me how much money you have. I'll tell you how to spend it.
Well, that's the point I'm getting to. We've got this. This is the important point. We've got this funding thing coming up with St. Johns County on the intersection, and that's going to free up money coming back to Falcon that can then be dispersed. So my question is, can you sit over the next week?
Where do we sit on on the PM fix. I mean,
That's
that's
our agenda for today's meeting. You want me to?
Let me do a quick overview. What I was going to say is the money that comes, part of the money that comes from the sale of the off-ramp to the county, what I was going to propose is you sit over the next 10 days or 2 weeks, make out a list for me of what you want to go where, because there will be some money to play with.
Right.
So make a list.
I'll check it twice.
And but
we're nice.
but get me the dollar totals.
Right.
And then what I can do is I can get a check written to you.
Right.
You know, you disperse it however the dickens you want. But what we've got to do is I need some help on the off-ramp, on the PM fix issue. And
you need help. I raised all the money. All the money's sitting. I raised it.
Well,
I did all
and this is
I'm fully funded.
Let me tell you
So
where
you're the dickhead, not me.
we are caught in FDOT protocol hell, and we're being treated as though we're just some landowner out there and we need your dirt, and so we're going to go get the appraisals and this, that, and the other. We've got another that's got
invoices. The appraised value of the land. Appraised value of the land according to the county is 1.4 million. That's the appraised
gets us is.
I'm just telling you, that's what it is. I understand. Okay? And I knew you spent stuff for other things. Show me all the invoices, whatever you know. Give me pieces of paper and I'll get you all you buy.
The issue becomes twofold, and George and I may disagree on this. One is we took money, we bought land, we did the plans, we did the engineering, all the crap that goes with it. Short story is we need a return on the money.
Okay?
Second issue is
we wouldn't have bought
you
any
bought
of
the
that
land
stuff.
for less than what I'm giving you in land back.
I'm sorry?
You bought the land for less than I'm giving you in land back.
Actually, I don't think so.
What?
Kangaroo is $1 million. They're appraising it at $1.1 million. We've got interest carry and taxes.
$1,350,000, yeah. Interest carry what? 10%? 100,000 a year.
On interest carry on the pond, just the pond alone.
The bond is less than 10.
If you go, pardon me?
Bond's less than 10.
The bond?
6%, 7.
What bond?
Your interest carry.
No, it was seller finance.
Really? What's
Yeah.
the rate on the seller finance?
10%.
Wow. Whatever the numbers are, and we'll goose it a little bit.
Here's the point. We've got the plans. We've got the money we spent for the plans. We got the engineering. If we've got a value of 1.4 in the dirt, that that's all the county can pay value on the dirt, then we've got to goose the value of the plans, the permits, and the interest carry that we got, all the crap that goes with it. We got to goose it to get it up to the 3.6 to get a deal.
Where does the 3.6 come from?
3.6 comes from taking the land, the plans, the permits, everything we have in it, getting our money back, plus getting a 30% kick for taking the risk.
What risk did we take?
For shelling the money out.
Opportunity cost of the money. We didn't go in here to get reimbursed.
What loan shark? All you got to do is get the number of 3, whatever the number is, with documentation. That's what the government's going to require. There's not going to be a good boy fee or a thank you fee.
Then I don't know that we can do business.
Well, I don't know how else to do it.
Well, here's a perspective that our let me speak. Here's a perspective that Art Falcone walked away from meeting with Cindy and meeting with you. The last things we talked about was price is going to be somewhere between 1 and 1.1 for the pond, and 2.5 to 3 for all of the other stuff.
What I said specifically is I will reimburse you all your costs. That's what I said, which I'm still prepared to do.
I don't think we can get a deal then.
How do you create the documentation that meets the legal requirement? You know, I can give you the 3.6 in a microfinance because it doesn't mean shit to me. The fix is more important than the money.
I understand.
Okay? I don't know how I get there with the bureaucracy.
Which is what we're trying to figure out.
That's why we got those guys.
It's kind of like if you had put out an RFP that said, I want somebody to we'll get the dirt, get the pond, get the permits, get the plans, the specs, etc. They wouldn't do it for the reimbursement of their costs.
No, I make it logic, George. I need the documentation.
How do we, here's some open table questions. How do we value the value of the wetlands permit? How do you document the value?
What's mitigation land sell for?
It's not just
that's not the permit.
It's just not the value of the permit.
I agree. Well, that's the value of the land, and the permit's value of something.
That was my question. How do we value the permit?
Make it up.
Assign a value.
Right. Okay. I'm not going to argue with it.
Okay.
I got to have something where the pile equals the number you want.
Yeah.
I didn't really care about that.
I didn't think you did.
Because in the scheme, I just need to be able to say, well, that's what it is. You know, we're reimbursed, and they're being good corporate citizens by working with us.
Here's the you know, you always get down to the real purpose of the meeting.
Yes.
You got a problem coming with Cindy.
She's a fucking idiot.
I understand that, and it's showing because in this thing with the off ramp, she's starting to work at cross purposes. She's starting to go.
So here's the problem. She doesn't even understand that she's working at cross purposes.
Maybe not, but she is.
You have to. One of you people have to sit the little bitch down and say very simple. You want your fucking road to announce for this year's election?
Just shut up.
Just shut the fuck up.
Tried that, and she doesn't have the retention of memory to make it stick.
Or every day. I tell you.
Part of what we figured out, and I mean, just to speak bluntly,
I mean, I have no trouble driving.